Hey guys, Horrorman back for another review. So today we're just going to take a look at the brand new 112 Collective The Crow figure. Now this figure is something I've been waiting on for a long time. It's not that Mezco's drugged their feet on this one too bad, but it's just one that as soon as it went up for pre-order, I just had to have it. It's just one of my favorite movies, especially from like the 90s. Just really love the movie, so it's definitely one I had to have. So before we take a close look at it, they did get some cool little stickers and stuff, like give it away with the figure itself. It was just like in the box, and you get like a little pin. And I love this little figure. It kind of looks like red, little like Jason style minifigure. And then he has like a little skull face underneath. So really cool little extras with this guy. So you saw the front of the box just has that classic look with the eyes and the crow. Over to the back of the box you just get a nice quick look at everything that's inside. So you get the figure, different head sculpts, several different hands, you get the stand, you get some different accessories, and some different like display base options. Over on the side, you get that classic image from the crow. Just says "Believe in Angels," and you have the 112 Collective logo, and then the crow logo. And then once you take the clamshell outside of the box, you do have two different layers here, at least. But you can see there's tons of different accessories here, different hands, and things like that. So let's go ahead and get it outside of the packaging and have a closer look. So here it is outside of the packaging. Now I did change the hands already, which are pretty easy to change on here, but I did put the open hands. When you get him, I think he had like the fisted hands on. So the belt itself is kind of like wrapped around the jacket, and the jacket and the belt are fully posable, so you can, you know, move the jacket back in any kind of way you want, and then once you open it up you can see his full outfit underneath. And yeah, man, right outside of the box, this just looks fantastic. I just really like the look of this. But I put these hands in because I wanted to kind of start this review with showing something that I think a lot of us are very familiar with, which is one of the, I think, the best crow figure besides this one. But like for a long time, this NECA one was definitely my personal favorite. But of course, he's basically a Staction figure, but he's in a really cool pose. Let's go ahead and start with taking a look at the head sculpts. Alright, so taking a look at the first head sculpt, and this is the one that's on him inside of the box. This is basically your neutral head sculpt, and man, it's starting out strong because this likeness is really, really well done. This is probably going to be the one I think a lot of people are going to use, but you get a fair amount of choices here, so it's going to be tough for me. I know that. But I really like the detail here. The makeup looks really good. It's not like bleeding off or anything like that. His makeup, of course, does look different over the course of the movie. Starts to kind of fade off or wash off. But it looks really good. I definitely think the application of the makeup was really done well, and it definitely got the likeness done well. Yeah, man, it definitely did a really nice job on this likeness. I mean, I could definitely see Brandon Lee in this head sculpt. But look at the different detail and sculpt in the hair. I mean, it looks really, really good. I mean, they did a great job on this. And again, really nice line work and sculpt in the hair. Definitely captured the look of Brandon Lee's crow. So in total, you're going to get 4 different head sculpts with this figure, which is really impressive. And to be honest with you, they're all good. I really can't decide which one I'm going to display this with. So again, this is the one that comes on them in the box. This is the neutral head. So the next one you get is this kind of serious, or like kind of like a talking head sculpt. I really like that one. He's got the mouth kind of open just a little bit, and the hair is kind of in his eyes just a little bit more than the regular one. And then you get this laughing head sculpt, which again, the hair is kind of just in the eyes a little bit, and you can see he's got the mouth open a little bit, the teeth showing, he's got the grin, his eyes are squinted just a little bit different, but again, just really, really nice sculpting in that head. And then the final head sculpt is his angry head sculpt, which we've seen a few times in the movie. And then again, his hair is kind of a little bit different. Not quite in his face, but it's definitely just like you can see these like little separate pieces in the front compared to this one. So he's got like the line in the forehead. He looks pretty angry. So again, just really nice head sculpts all around for this figure. Interchanging the heads is really easy on this figure. Just pops right off, and then you're just going to want to take your other head sculpt, pop it on, and you're good to go. Here he is with the laughing face. Looks pretty good. Here he is with the, I don't know, like talking face or kind of serious face. And I definitely like this one. And then last but not least, here he is with the angry face. And this one looks cool too. Definitely you can see the resemblance to Sting here. But yeah, this is a pretty cool face too. Definitely has that all hell's about to break loose face. So great head sculpts. You know, nice mix up of all four. I think my favorites are the like serious face, like the neutral head sculpt, and then I really like this other face sculpt too. And I think it's because I'm gonna probably put it with like him holding the mask or something. So yeah, again, just really nice range of facial expressions. Alright, so taking a look at the rest of the body here, I can't say enough good things about this. I mean, I really, really like the look of this figure. And it could be just a little bit because I'm a little biased because I really love this movie. But I've also had some kind of crappier Crow figures. So I'm like, you know, dying for one that actually looks like him and it's actually like able to move, you know. So I'm just really happy and thrilled to have one of this quality. So yeah, I'm just going to tell you right off the bat, I'm very happy with this figure. But he's got a good looking outfit in terms of like the soft goods. I really like what they've done with it. The jacket, like I've already shown you, I mean, you can do anything you want with it. It's got this wire in it, so you can, you know, wrap it around him to make it kind of tighter to fit, or you can just have it kind of blowing like in the wind. He's got like a nice wire in here, and then the different belt pieces can move too, so really nice. But I mean, besides that, he's got this really nice like soft goods shirt. It does have holes in it, so you can see some of his battle damage on here, some of his bullet wounds. But just really nice detail in it. The jacket kind of reminds me of like Blade a little bit. I think it's similar to that figure, but I could be wrong. I don't have Blade, but it just comes off as the Blade trench coat. It's very similar. And he also has the leather pants. You can see the different buttons in the pants. He does have this rope in the front, or like this string, and it does wrap around to the back, which I'm a little leery of, so I'm going to probably be careful posing that leg. The string's also on the torso. He's got different bands on his hands, like little straps, so really cool. And then he's got, of course, the belt loops for the belt, and then buttons on the outside. So just really nice details overall in that. And of course he has his signature boots, which are untied with the tongues kind of hanging down. He's got 2 peg holes, no tread on the feet, but I'm actually happy with that because they stand so much better when they don't have that tread. So I like just the flat soles. Sometimes I get really annoyed with that tread. It just does not want to stand. So, but yeah, overall, just really nice details in the outfit. So taking a quick look at the articulation on here, it is pretty good. He doesn't have a ton of downward movement. I mean, it's pretty good. And he can look back a decent amount for the hair being there. It's not too bad. Get a little bit of movement in the neck, which is nice. Best part about this one, double jointed elbows. I don't know why they make any figure these days without double jointed elbows on these Mezco. I mean, paying this much money, you gotta have those. So I'm really happy with that. Got the T-pose going, plenty of crunch going here. Got plenty of movement in the legs. Just be careful of this rope here. Legs can go out pretty far. So you can do a nice karate kick if you want to do that. But it looks like really good movement in this guy. Arms can go all the way down. Yeah, man, plenty of articulation in that. So very, very impressed. The boots, a little limited, but I mean, if you were wearing boots like that, you'd be pretty limited when you're posing too. So overall, just like really nice. And of course, we talked about the coat, plenty of posability there. So you can take this jacket off. You just have to remove the arms and just kind of just be careful with how you do it. And there is a little bit of damage on the jacket. It's intentional, but there is some like stab wounds and some holes. So that's pretty cool. But once you get it off, you do have a really nice looking shirt underneath. And again, you do have bullet holes and just different wounds. There actually is a little bit of a cut like on his chest, which looks really cool. And then you can see like the little arm pieces are kind of like leather material. Nothing really on the back, but you can see the ropes as well. And from what I gather, the ropes are kind of like he's like binding his wounds that he gets along the way. So that's why you see him with them on his hands, his leg, and his stomach. I believe that's what it is. But that's where like the ropes kind of come into play. But he does look really cool without the jacket. And if you really wanted to, you could take his shirt off. But I'm not going to. But he does have more detail underneath, I'm sure. And if you want to do those shirt off poses, you could definitely do that. Really nice lineup of accessories with this figure, so I'll go ahead and start off here. First and foremost, you do get the crow stand, which you get with all these figures. It just has a plastic film on it, but nothing fancy there. Pretty much what you'd expect. You do get the top of the church or the cathedral that they're in. This is the piece that the piece that the crow rips off of the roof and fights Top Dollar with. You get this really cool katana sword. I don't think that's Top Dollar's. I think this is the one from when he's fighting all those guys in a room. I think he grabs a sword at one point. I'm pretty sure that's what that's from, but I know Top Dollar had a badass sword too. And then here's his guitar, of course. He is a musician. You gotta have the guitar. And it is a fabric strap on there, which is really, really nice. But I like these accessories. Alright, so these guys aren't necessarily accessories because they're living things, but they are different pieces that come with this figure. So you get two versions of the crow. You get the one in flight and the one that's just kind of standing and resting. And then you get Gabriel, which is the crow's cat, which is really cool. It was actually his, Eric and Shelley's cat. And this one is still alive, unlike them. So it's pretty cool. He goes back to visit his apartment, and the cat's still there. So it's an important part of the movie, I think. Cats are always important. But really cool detail in here. They're just like pre-posed, no real articulation or anything. They're just cool little additions to the figure. You do get Eric Draven's tombstone, and the crow can just sit right on top of that, so that's a cool little addition. Alright, and then the final wave of accessories I'm just going to show you inside of the tray. So you do get some of these clear parts just for the stand itself, but then you get another clear part for the crow, which I'll try to show that. You do get a really cool little like switchblade knife. You get a very, very little Zippo lighter with the flap open and the flames showing. You get the shotgun, revolver, handgun. You do get some clips, it looks like. So really nice accessories here. Here he is dual wielding two different handguns, and I do believe this revolver is the one that Fun Boy carried. So this is the one that actually killed Brandon Lee, unfortunately. But they did include it with the figure, along with another pistol. And he can dual wield the handguns using the different trigger hands that come with the figure. And here he is holding the shotgun, and you actually can pump the shotgun as well, so there's a little extra detail with that piece. And here he is holding the katana sword, and you can have him wield that with two hands, which is really cool. And again, you do get a variety of different hands, so you can hold specific weapons. And here he is holding one of Tintin's knives, and he does hold that pretty good. And here he is holding the Zippo lighter, and he does have a specific hand for it. I believe I have it positioned right, but it is a very small accessory, so be careful not to lose this one. And the Zippo kind of ties in with this effect in the background, which is basically like the crow, but it's on fire. And this is from a big scene, kind of toward the climax at the end of the movie. But it's a really cool effect. You can kind of put it in the background, hanging off the stand, or you can kind of just put it down by his feet. But they do look cool together. And here he is holding the weather vane, and just like the katana sword, he can dual wield it. And here he is holding the guitar, and he holds it pretty good. You can kind of use the gripping hand to look like he's playing some of the frets. The strap will kind of come off a little bit easy, but it's just a fabric strap that just slips right over these little pieces here. But he does look really cool with it. Alright, so if you want to display the crow with his crow buddy here, you do get a crow that's in flight, and you can see that he does have a hole right on the top of him. And then you also have the crow that's kind of just like sitting or like resting. And then he also has a hole right there. So you're going to want to have the stand, this little attachment, and the wire. And you basically port this wire into one of the holes. And then basically snap it onto this piece here. And then once you've done that, you can kind of bend the wire around how you wish, and you just port the wire into the crow, and you can kind of have him here. And then if you're good with Photoshop, or if you just position this just right, you may not see the wire as much, but it's a cool little piece if you want to kind of have him flying next to the crow. So pretty nicely done. Alright, and then the last two accessories you have is Shelly's engagement ring, and that was on the necklace in the movie, and that's pretty much what they replicated here. It's got like a little wire on it, so it's flexible, so you can kind of position it any way you want. There is a little bit of detail, but it's a little hard to make out with the camera, but it's definitely reminiscent of the ring that she has. And then, of course, you do get Shelly's mask that's hanging up on the wall of their apartment. And that's basically what inspires the makeup for Eric Draven when he's the crow. So pretty cool piece. I do kind of wish that he came with a head sculpt with no makeup, so he can kind of hold this and look a little bit more accurate to the movie, but really cool accessories. So in total you do get 10 different hands. So you'll get your gripping hands, relaxed hands, trigger finger hands. There's a couple different specialty pose hands, and then you'll also get the bullet wound hand, which is when Funboy shoots him, and you can actually see a hole right through his hand, which is really cool looking. And it does have some really nice detail on the back as well. You can see the blood kind of dripping down his hand. The flight stand works pretty good and actually will hold the weight of the crow pretty well, so in case you want to do any of those like cool flight poses, you could definitely do that. Alright, for the first comparison, here he is with some of his 112 collective friends. So you have John Wick on the left, then you have the Black Mask from the Batman comics, and then you have the Batfleck Batman from the Batman vs. Superman movie. And I think all these scale really well together. Keanu Reeves, John Wick does appear to be like the tallest, but overall I like the way they look. And unfortunately I don't have a Bruce Lee figure to do a comparison with to Brandon Lee here. But if you have this really cool Game of Death Gomez, you can kind of get that kind of feeling in Bruce Lee. And I've noticed people have, shown some different custom head sculpts to put on this body, and the height is perfect because Brandon's definitely taller. So this looks really cool anyway. And here he is with the Halloween 1978 112 Collective Michael Myers, and then also the Leon S. Kennedy Resident Evil 2 remake figure made by Lim Toys. And again, these scale really nice together. Here he is with a couple of Marvel Legends. So you have the Winter Soldier, Bucky, and this is the movie version, and then you have the animated version of Wolverine. And I always find that Marvel Legends are sometimes close to the same size, but the proportions just aren't quite as good. But they're not too bad together. And I really do love this original NECA figure. I don't think this one's going to scale with it. These figures are 7-inch scale, but some of these older ones I feel like they're a little bigger or a little smaller, so I'm not 100% sure how close these are going to be, but I do think this one's going to be just a little too tall for this. And for the final comparison, here he is with the Jason from Friday the 13th Part 4, made by NECA Toys, the Fury Toys, Samurai Spring, not Leonardo, and then finally the Bandai Eddie Munson from Stranger Things. And you can see that none of these really scale too well together. Alright, so that's my review of the Mezco Toys 112 Collective, the Crow figure. And I definitely think they've really outdone themselves on this one. The Crow is definitely one of those characters that have really needed to have like a highly articulated figure for a long time. And you know, the earlier figures from NECA were really good. The sculpts are great, but they're really just basically statues. They just don't have any movement. So this was a really much needed improvement over the DST figures which came out recently. They just didn't quite fit the bill for me, but this one really delivers. The accessories are really nice, articulation's great. Love the double hinged elbows. The face sculpts are really nice. You get 4 different face sculpts to choose from. Tons of accessories. Cool little creatures. You know, you get the Crow. A couple different versions. You get Gabriel. So yeah, man, I can't say enough good things about the accessories and just the overall sculpt and quality. And aside from the articulation, accessories, and overall sculpt, I really love the clothes with this one. It definitely shines, like literally. You really can see the difference in the shine between some of the like the pants part of the shirt and the jacket. It really comes off as like leather and kind of has that wet look, since the movie rains, you know, pretty much all the time. So really cool, just overall lightness, and like I said, the quality is just really good on this one. So I highly recommend it. You can still find it at most specialty stores, comic shops, places like that, and I think Mezco might still have it. It's a little more expensive. You'll get closer to the $100 price point for this one, but it's definitely worth it. And considering there isn't a lot of Crow figures out there, I would definitely jump on this one before it sells out. So thanks for watching my review. If you like the review, go ahead and like it. If you have a comment or question, go ahead and leave it in the comments section below. And until next time, guys, see ya.